One more time and I think you'll get the whole thing, dude.
Hi, how's it going? Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you. Ivan.
Ivan? So, tell me, what made you begin recording arts?
Well, I mean, I've been a musician for a while, for the past couple of years, so around 15 years, so like ever since then, like me and my father especially, he's a musician when I was younger too, so he had the thought of actually doing a recording studio. This is actually supposed to be all his, but it just like kind of took over. It's like, oh, I kind of know my way around computers better than he does. So he's like, all right. So
awesome. So your father was sort of your inspiration for the entire idea?
Absolutely. I mean, like as far as like, you know, growing up with, you know, different types of music and like it's just the variety of music I grew up with is definitely vast and.
Yeah,
and, you know,
of course.
You know,
and
like,
it changes rapidly.
Yeah, and it changes rapidly. I mean, I'm really happy that at least, you know, he had like a very I would say like a wide variety of music, like especially genre wise. He just listens to, you know, old, like you can go from like old school Santana to you know, like Bon Jovi or
nice.
You know, the list goes on and on for everything that's been going on. So it's just like I've been exposed to a lot when I was a younger child, and you know, it's definitely a big influence.
I want to ask you a little more about the business. How did you really start to arrange everything? You know, what were the costs, the startup costs? You know, the fixed costs.
Well, as far as when I started, when I was telling you, like I kind of fell into it because I didn't like spending a lot of money on my own to record in different studios, but per hour. So this is another way of making myself, all right, maybe I can actually do this on my own, and I don't have to, you know, spend anything. So that came into play, and then I started recording my own music that way. And then people like what they're hearing, so it's like, okay. Then people are starting messaging me, and then the wave of people starting to like take interest in what I do.
Definitely.
And after a while, it's like, all right, you know what? I started off as actually like a free service. I catered to a bunch of, you know, local acts that I was playing at the time, so it's like, all right, let's at least try it out. The more you keep doing this, especially like the experience comes with it, like, oh, you can do better in certain things.
Are you sort of comfortable where you're at, or would you plan on expanding maybe sometime in the future?
I'm okay with it right now, but I feel like if I were to go towards the outboard gear and more analog stuff, because I have been exposed to more of the digital side of everything, you know, like as far as like, you know, Pro Tools and everything else, I'm very more into looking into the analog side of everything. So it's just like, okay, you know, you got all the Pro Tools and all the editing skills down and everything else, but I really want to get into more outboard gear and everything else, because everything nowadays is, you know, technology is thriving and everything.
It's complex.
Everything's now in the computer now, so it's just like I'm taking advantage of it. It's a really good, you know, the technology has its perks too, but I don't, you know, you cannot, you know, you can't beat analog sound as far as...
Yeah, and you know, it looked like you were using just that one program for all of it, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as I'm doing, you know, doing work right now, I'm using Logic right now at the moment. I've been, you know, I want to at least try different types of operating, you know, recording systems as far as, you know, digital editing and everything else. Pro Tools is definitely my foot in the door. Because it's like, actually, you know what? It was GarageBand first.
GarageBand.
And
I used to do a little bit of experimenting with GarageBand.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I lied. Sonar, like Cakewalk Sonar. That's when I really started to really get a hold of things and how to really get like my foot in the door actually. And then GarageBand came after, and it's like, okay, this is cool, but you know, I want to see
what comes next.
Yeah, like Pro Tools. So it's like that's like the industry standard, you know, for any, you know, like you hear Pro Tools is like everybody uses Pro Tools.
Yeah.
So after that, it's like, all right, cool, and then started using that. I want to I don't want to limit myself with Pro Tools, so I just went into Apple's version of a DAW, which is Logic.
Yes.
So.
I understand. So once you become better, you know, it's worth more.
And yeah, exactly.
Not a lot of people possess your skills, so I mean, once you start producing, people see that in you, and they see your talent, and they want to come to you, and they'll pay you, you know, top dollar. I mean, because there's not a lot of studios around here at all.
Yeah, some studios just sit around and press the record button. You know, when it really shows when someone really likes the way your product is and how it sounds. Or, for instance, like they see something that, like, you know, it's like, all right, this guy was serious about it. Or serious about it, you know, everything else, but like he does. So it's just like, okay. But on top of everything else, I started off doing it for free, and then after that, I was like, all right, you know what? I mean, I don't want to like give the artist, you know, I don't want them being put on a clock. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll start off by song, and I still do it still, but like, you know, obviously the rates have escalated a lot since then. But I started, all right, you know what, like, I'll do it like for like $25 a song, and then, you know, that, you know, from then on, I was just like, okay, people started liking it more, and there's like higher demand started coming in. Of course. And then I started raising the rates for each song, and there are some times that I do like for you know, per hour, for depending if it's like a hip hop thing or like a vocal session and anything else. It's like, okay, you know what?
Might as well set a time limit on it. Yeah. A fixed price. One more question.
Yeah. What's up?
Is there a way that you could turn all of this into sort of, not, I wouldn't say lifelong, but an extended career?
Absolutely. I mean, like at this point in my life, I have a lot of things to think about, and I'm definitely thinking about going to, like, me personally, I haven't even gone to school because this is all based on experiences and all the mentors musically that I've worked with, and then, you know, I want to extend that, you know, some point in my life to really like get it to something that's, you know, make me like, I have to like I put a solid ground in my life to actually rely on this passion. Yep. You know, like it's you
want to make sure that's what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And at least one of the things that I want to do, because it's definitely something
good to
I enjoy.
have a backup.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if something else fails in your favor, then, you know, you always have something to fall back on, like you said.
Of course.
But you know, when it comes to passion, you can't get away from it. If it's something that you really like, then just go for it, 110%, full steam ahead, man. You know, like. But as far as the aspect of entrepreneurship, you know, it's how you apply yourself, you know, to the situation, and then people will catch on. It's like, oh, this is great. This sounds awesome, you know, and then people start coming back and back again. So it's just like, okay. So, you know, in favor, like, as far as I know, I mean, I've been working with a lot of artists in the tri-state area. And, you know, they're definitely pleased with what I do. So it's just an honor, even in general, to, you know, like at the end of the day, when you please a customer, that's definitely one of my biggest things that I love about it. Is just helping people out and then getting what they want. You know, if you deliver to them, I think that's better than getting a paycheck. You know,
I am all into the production. I'm really interested. I see it, a lot of people doing it nowadays, but I really just want to know, like, is it all that hard or is it simple?
I mean, when it comes down to, you know, nothing's easy. You know, this is when it comes down to certain programs and like certain ways of doing, you know, engineering especially. There's a lot of time, because I didn't know what I know in a matter of like a year or two. You know, it's just all about experience and how, you know, how to approach certain things and how to do it right. You know, well, there's no really real way to do it right.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think we get just about wrapped up. What do you think? You good?
Awesome.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're a business where it caters to the artist. I feel is definitely like the best thing and most important thing, because if the customer is completely satisfied with what they do and like knows that you're putting an effort into it, then
that's all that matters.
They'll pay whatever.
They'll love you. They'll come back.
Exactly. It's all about having them come back. And in the end of the day, that's what you want them to do. It's
profitable.
Exactly. You know, and it's even better if you enjoy what you're doing. And You know, that's the most important thing. If you don't, then what's the point?